Business communication. This is the topic we are going to discuss today. So, what is communication? First, let us know what is communication. Communication. It is a process of exchanging information, ideas, thoughts, feelings through speech, signals, writing, or behavior. Any information or ideas, thoughts, or even if it is an emotion which is passed on to one person to another person through speech, signal, writings, and behavior is known as communication. So, meaning of communication: the exchange of information or passing of information, ideas, or thought from one person to another or from one end to another is known as communication. So, importance of business communication. Why this business communication is important? So, there are 4 points. Communication is important and crucial for both messenger, so for managers as well as the executives and lower tier personals. Executives typically communicate with different part via the three major forms, including shareholders, personals, clients or customers, vendors or contractors. So, shareholders must receive honest, timely, concise piece of information that can help to shape the future of a business. During board meetings, it is critical for all notable members to discuss critical organization matters in the most efficient and effective manners possible. Personals. In order to manage a business, executives must plan and direct all activities and personnel correctly, which includes efficiently conveying what needs to be done and exactly how it is to be done. In return, feedback is sometimes required from personnel, which often is associated with relayed information, that is, what has been done and what needs to be done, along with the questions to ensure that all goals of organizations, be it short term or long term, are completed correctly and in the way that management desires. Clients or customers. Executives often meet with their clients and customers in order to ensure that their desires are being met and to obtain key and critical data that can help drive the external. Facing in the sense customer facing workflows that make a business work. Since customers or clients are the heart of business, knowing how effectively communicate with them is the key to knowing what they want, how they want it, and the best way to completely deliver on giving customers and clients what they need the most. Vendors or contractors. Vendors often provide a business with critical IT infrastructure, such as with enterprises suites, outsourced contractors and consultants, and other external personnel. Often operate in a way that is different from the internal staff. That said, both vendors and outsourced contractor are required a business to effectively communicate with the expected of them. With it is expected, the time frames and how each task is to be completed in relation to critical projects and key processes. With personal, business communication is an internal affair, while the shareholders, clients, customers, and vendors business communication is typically the external. In order for management to do the job effectively, including planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling, they must know how effectively communicate what needs to be done and how it is to be done. So, this is why a business communication is important in communication. in the business organization. So the next one is essential components of communication. In order to better understand to understand the communication process, we can break it down into a series of 8 essential components. That is source, messages, channel, receiver, feedback, environment, context, and interferences. So these are the 8 essential components of a communication. So the source imagines, creates and sends the message. In a public speaking situation, the source is the person giving each speech. He or she conveys the message by sharing new information with the audience. The speaker also conveys the message through his or her tone of voice, body language, and choice of clothing. The speaker begins by first determining the message, what to say, and how to say it. The second step involves encoding the message by choosing just the right order or the perfect word to convey the intended message. The third step is to present or send information to the receiver or audience. Finally, by watching for the audience reactions, the source perceives how well they received message and respond with the clarification of supporting information. The next one is message. The message is the stimulus or meaning produced by the source of receiver or audience. When you plan to give a speech or write a report, your message may seem to be only a words you chose that you will convey the meaning. But that is just the beginning. The words are often brought together with grammar and organization. You may choose to save your important point for last. The message also consists of way you say it. In a speech, with your tone of voice, your body language and your appearance, and in a report, with your writing style, punctuations and headings and formatting. You choose the format you choose. In addition, part of message may be environment or context you present it in, and the noise that might make your message hard to hear or see. Imagine, for example, that you are addressing a large audience of sales rep and are aware there is a World Series game tonight. Your audience might have a hard time sitting down, but you may choose to open with, I understand there is an important game tonight. In this way, by expressing verbally something that most people in your audience are aware of and interested in, you might grasp and focus their attentions. The next one is channel. The channel is the way in which a message or message travel between source and receivers. For example, think of your television. How many channels do you have on your television? Each channel take up some space, even in a digital world. In the cable or in the signal that brings the message to each channel to your home. Television combines an audio signal you hear with a visual signal you see. Together they convey the message to the receiver or the audience. Turn off the volume on your television. You will still understand what is happening. Can you still understand what is happening? No. Many times you can, because the body language conveys a part of message of the show. Now turn up the volume, but turn around so that you cannot see the television. You can still hear the dialogues and follow the story line. Similarly, when you talk or write, you are using a channel to convey your message. Spoken channel includes face-to-face conversation, speech, telephone conversation and voicemail, messages, radio, public address system and voice over internet protocol. Written channel includes letter, memorandum, purchase order, invoice, newspaper and magazines articles, blogs, emails, text messages, tweets and so forth. The next one is receiver. The receiver receives the message from the source, analyzing and interpreting the message in ways both intended and unintended by source. To better understand this component, this of a receiver on a football team, the quarterback throws the football, that is a message, to a receiver who must see and interpret where to catch the ball. The quarterback may intend for the receiver to catch his message in one way, but the receiver may see things differently and miss the football, the intended message altogether. A receiver, you listen, see, touch, smell and or taste to receive a message. Your audience size you up, much as you might check them out long before you take the stage on or open your mouth. The non-verbal responses of your listeners can serve as clues on how to adjust your opening. By imagining yourself in their place, you anticipate what you would look for it when you were them. Just a quarterback plans where the receiver will be in order to place the ball correctly. You too recognize the interaction between source and receivers in a business communication context. All of this happens at the same time, illustrating why and how communication is always changing. The next one is feedback. When you respond to the source, intentionally or unintentionally, you are giving feedback. Feedback is composed of message the receiver sends back to the resources. Verbal and non-verbal, all the feedback signals allow the source to see well how accurately the message was received. Feedback also provides an important for the receivers or audience to ask clarification, to agree or disagree, or to indicate the source could make the messages more interesting. Environment. The environment is the atmosphere, physical and psychological, where you can and receive messages. The environment can include the table, chair, lighting and sound equipments that are in the room. The room itself is an example for environment. The environment can include factors like formal dresses that may be indicating whether the discussion is open and hearing or more professional and formal. People may be more likely to intimate conversation when are physically close to each other and less likely when they only see each other from across the room. Context. The context of the communication interaction involves setting scenes and expectations of individual involved. A professional communication context may involve business suits that directly or indirectly influence the expectations of language and behavior among the participants. Interferences. Interferences are also called noise. Can come from any source. Interference is anything that blocks or changes the source intended meaning of the messages. For example, if you drove a car to work or school, chances are you are surrounded by noise, car horns, billboards, or perhaps the radio in your car interrupt your thought or your conversation with the passengers. Psychological noise is when you thought occupying your attention while you are hearing or reading a message. Thank you.